Today's flashback movie is The Mosquito Coast from 1986, and one can take a little look at the background of the movie, what it's about and who the stars were, as well as any work they might have done before and after the movie. If you like what you see, please consider giving it a thumbs up because it really does help. And if you want to see more, then you could even subscribe to the channel. That would be great. The Mosquito Coast was released in November 1986 by the Saul Zaentz Company, with a running time of just under 2 hours. The story was written by Paul Schrader and based on the novel by Paul Theroux. The movie itself was directed by Peter Weir. Filming was done in Georgia and Maryland in the United States, as well as in Belize, with a budget of $25 million. But the worldwide gross only reached a little over $14 million. Ford has said that although this was his only movie not to make its money back, he's still glad that he made it. An idealist uproots his family to a remote Caribbean island, away from the consumerism which he perceives to be choking America. He sets about creating a utopia in the jungle by bringing ice to the natives, and uses his genius for making gadgets to enhance their primitive lifestyle. However, he also alienates his long-suffering family, and his enterprise proves fatally flawed. I think this movie demands a lot from the audience. For one, there's an undercurrent of dread, but there right from the start, and it's hard to watch Ford's mercurial character drag his family to the far ends of the jungle, essentially to reboot civilization. I'm not gonna lie, this is a hard movie, rife with misfortune. On occasions shocking, infuriating and exhausting. But it is one that I really enjoyed right to the end. Incidentally, Harrison also puts this down as one of his favourite roles in a movie.
Took his socks off. I'm gonna straighten his hair.
But Dad, what is it?
It's perfection. That's what it is.
Some thought it was madness.
Nobody ever thinks of leaving this country. I do.
I think about it every day. Tell him he is a dangerous man, and one of these days he's going to get you all killed.
He wanted to change the world.
What is it you want?
The main protagonist is the brilliant but stubborn inventor Allie Fox, played by Harrison Ford, who has grown fed up with the American dream and believes that a nuclear war is on the horizon as a result of American greed and crime. Ford was born in Chicago, Illinois back in 1942, but now lives on a sprawling ranch in Jackson, Wyoming with his third wife Callista Flockhart. Best known for his roles as the great Indiana Jones and Han Solo in Star Wars, Ford was discovered by George Lucas while working as a $150 a week jobbing actor and carpenter, going on to appear in 1973's American Graffiti as a result. Since then he has gone on to amass a personal fortune of around $300 million. And if I had made that much money by his age, I would definitely think about retiring. But then again, when you've got a hobby of flying and collecting aircraft, perhaps you need all the money you can get your hands on. American actor, musician and activist Reverend Pheonix was born in Madras, Oregon in 1970 and played the role of Allie's secretive and timid 14-year-old son, Charlie Fox, from whose viewpoint the story is told. He was actually born River Jude Bottom. River Bottom? You can kind of see why the family changed it to Pheonix. He began his acting career at the age of 10 in television commercials, before starring in the 1985 science fiction adventure film Explorers. Pheonix performed in his first notable role in 1986's Stand By Me, before making the transition to more adult-orientated roles with 1988's Running on Empty. Sadly, before he could really spread his wings in the movie industry, Pheonix died in 1993 at the age of just 23 from a drug overdose in the early hours of Halloween at the Viper Room in Hollywood. Dame Helen Lydia Mirren was born Helen Lydia Mirrenoff in Hammersmith, London in 1945, and she portrayed Allie's wife and loving mother, Margot Fox, known as Mother Fox. Having begun her illustrious career back in the late 60s, Dame Helen is the only person to achieve the Triple Crown of acting in both the US and the UK, winning an Academy Award and a British Academy Film Award for her portrayal of Queen Elizabeth II in The Queen, a Tony Award and a Laurence Olivier Award for the same role in The Audience, 3 British Academy Television Awards for her performance as DCI Jane Tennyson in Prime Suspect, and 4 Primetime Emmy Awards, including 2 for Prime Suspect again. Dame Helen made her movie breakthrough in The Long Good Friday in 1980, and has gone on to star in movies like The Madness of King George, The Cook, The Thief, His Wife and Her Lover, and Hitchcock. When it comes to the small screen, there is no doubt that by far her most famous role has been as DCI Jane Tennyson in Prime Suspect. However, more recently, she has also played the title role in the TV miniseries Catherine the Great. Dame Helen became a US citizen in 2017 and voted in her first US election in 2020. She's been married to producer and director Taylor Hackford since 1997, but has no children, saying that she has no maternal instinct whatsoever. Conrad Roberts played the part of Mr. Haddy, who takes the family to Geronimo, the village that Allie purchased from a drunken German. Roberts began his career in 1968 when he was cast as Edward Stark on the series The Doctors, and he went on to appear in over 100 episodes. Since then, he has appeared in movies such as the cult horror film The Serpent and the Rainbow, The Mask of Zorro, and The Serpent King. On the small screen, Roberts played Police Commissioner Williford in Miami Vice, and had guest roles on shows like The X-Files, NCIS The Unit, and most recently, The River. His most recent movie role was in A Wrinkle in Time in 2018. French-American theatre director, writer and actor André William Gregory was born in a hotel in Paris, France in 1934, and played the role of the missionary, Reverend Spellgood, who clashes with Allie due to their opposing religious views. Gregory began his career in the early 80s, playing himself in My Dinner with André. He also wrote it himself. How bizarre. Although predominantly a writer and director, he has allowed himself to indulge in a number of movie roles, such as John the Baptist in The Last Temptation of Christ, as the restaurateur Dante, alongside Rosanna Arquette and David Bowie in The Linguini Incident, and with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man. Gregory was married to documentary filmmaker Mercedes Chiquita Nebelthal until her death in 1992, and they had 2 children together. He is now married to director and producer Cindy Klein. Actress, singer and former model Martha Plimpton was born in New York in 1970 and played the part of the Reverend's daughter, Emily Spellgood, who flirts with Charlie. Plimpton began her career as a model with an early 1980s campaign for Calvin Klein, making an impression as a sophisticated but tomboyish little girl. She made her movie debut in 1981, when at the age of 11 she had a small role in the movie Rollover. However, her breakthrough came when she played Steph Steinbrenner in the 1985 teen classic The Goonies. Other movies she has starred in include Running on Empty, again with Pheonix, Parenthood, and The Sleepy Time Gal. During her career, Martha has appeared in a number of TV shows, but without doubt her most successful have been playing Virginia Chance in Raising Hope, and Eileen O'Neill in The Real O'Neills. More recently she has starred as Megan in Generation, and who knows, that might go on to be even more successful. Only time will tell. Martha began a romantic relationship with River Pheonix after they filmed The Mosquito Coast together, but it sadly ended in 1989, due to Phoenix's substance abuse. When Martha spoke of this, she said, "When we split up, a lot of it was that I had learned that screaming, fighting and begging wasn't going to change him. He had to change himself, and he didn't want to yet." Melanie Boland was born in 1960 and portrayed the Reverend's wife, Mrs. Spellgood. This is the only credit that exists for Melanie, and it appears that she hasn't done any further work in the movie industry before or since. Because of this, there aren't any images of her, as she looks now, so you'll just have to manage with this one, of her in the movie. Actor and writer Jadrian Steele was born in New York in 1974 and played Allie's youngest son, Jerry Fox, who along with his brother Charlie grows resentful of Allie. This was Steele's big break and debut in the movie business, which he won when he was 11 years old. He has also appeared as Gavin in Just Make Believe, and in his latest movie played Tim Becker in Victoriana. Steele has not been what you would call prolific as an actor, and the majority of his work has been on television, starting with his role as Little John Ryan in the TV series Ryan's Hope in 1975, which he continued with until 1984. Steele also works as a writer under the name J.M. Steele, and has written 2 books for young adult readers, as well as several short plays. He's been married to Sarah Elizabeth Bagley since 2009. Hilary Gordon was born in 1977 and played the role of Allie's daughter April Fox. Other than the Mosquito Coast, Hilary has only appeared in one other movie, and that was The Great Outdoors, once again appearing as a twin with her sister Rebecca. Rebecca Gordon was unsurprisingly also born in 1977 and played April's twin sister Clover Fox. As I mentioned, child actors Hilary and Rebecca also appeared in The Great Outdoors together. However, Rebecca has also made an appearance on the small screen as young Mary in the TV series 10 by 10 in 1997. Richard Francis O'Neill, professionally known as Dick O'Neill, was born in New York in 1928 and portrayed asparagus farm owner and Allie's boss, Mr. Polsky. With a career that started as far back as the mid-1950s on the stage in Washington DC, O'Neill was best known for playing Irish cops, fathers, judges and army generals. On the movie front, he has appeared in the likes of the original 1974 version of The Taking of Pelham 123, The Buddy Holly Story, Prizzi's Honour and Loose Cannons. Although O'Neill is perhaps best known on the small screen for his role as Charlie Cagney in the TV series Cagney and Lacey, he has also had stints on Falcon Crest and Dark Justice, as well as one of his final parts as Commissioner Geiss in Family Matters. O'Neill was married to his second wife Susan Jackie Shaw from 1964 until his death in Santa Monica from heart failure in 1998. Originally a dancer, Butterfly McQueen was born Thelma McQueen in Tampa, Florida in 1911 and played what turned out to be one of her final roles, with that of Ma Kennewick. Having legally changed her name, Butterfly's best known role was in what is perhaps the most famous movie of all time, when she played the irresponsible Prissy in Gone with the Wind. Interestingly, she wasn't able to attend the movie's premiere because it was held at a whites-only theatre. She has also appeared in Flame of the Barbary Coast and Mildred Pierce, but turned her back on movies, frustrated with racial typecasting, and resorted to the small screen. Butterfly never married or had any children. She lived in New York in the summer months and in Augusta, Georgia during the winter. In 1995, a fire broke out in her home and she received severe burns to over 70% of her body. She was taken to Augusta Regional Medical Center, where she died at the age of 84.